I raised over $5,000 to grow my marketing agency. I raised it earlier this year. And the plan was to spend that $5,000 with Meta ads, run ads towards an offer via a landing page, VSL, and then come on YouTube and make a video going, hey, this is how I spent $5,000 and I have an agency that makes 10K per month. And this is how I did it. This is what you should do, and go over things that way. But ultimately, it's been over 2 months since I planned to make that video, and that's not the case. So I wanted to make this video basically, number one, to share my experience with Meta ads going through the VSL. Number two, to also make this video as a lesson, so somebody out there that is also planning on running Meta ads can know the reality of running Meta ads, what you should do different, what I did, the mistakes I made, and so you can possibly learn from it. And number three, just to be transparent and share what actually works in 2026. So if you're buying a course or you're trying to run Meta ads, you actually know what you're in for when you're going through this process. All right, with that said, let's get into it. So for quick context, my agency is Artil. It's a real estate marketing agency. We help real estate agents basically get more clients and get more deals via Meta ads. So the offer is very simple. We'll help you run your ad to get more clients via Meta ads, and then you pay us a retainer. I was going with the paying full model, so that ultimately meant that I would help them run the ads, and then they'll pay for a 3-month block, and then my pay to run the ads for that 3 months would be $2,500, and that way I'll help them get more clients. So the first mistake I made was not actually understanding the full numbers and not actually understanding the amount it would take to get one paying client. So in my head, I did the random math of walking from the ad spend towards the client instead of working for how much it takes to get one single client and work back to the ad spend I had. So ultimately what I was thinking was my cost per lead should be anywhere from $50 to $100 higher. And then basically getting that lead from being a lead into my VSL, and then from my VSL into booking a call should probably cost me $100 to $150. And my math was, if I was to take 10 calls at $150 per call, then I should be able to at least close one client. So that's a close rate of 10%. Now, here's the deal. That math kind of worked, but it also did not work. So my average cost per book call was about $150 or so dollars, but that was not where the math stopped. The math was also, I had a 50 to 60% no-show rate. So that ultimately brings the cost per actually show call to about $300 to $350. So for me to get one call on the calendar, I'll actually have to get 2 to 3 people on the calendar for me to get one person to show up. That was the mistake I had thought I planned for ahead of time, but I really didn't plan for it in reality. I planned for it in my head, but in reality, that was not the case. In reality, the case was I thought I was going to have a lot more people on my calendar, and that wasn't just the case. The second mistake I made was not having enough ad variety and ad creative. So I created 6 image ads, I edited those, and I had about another 6 or so. Sorry, I had 6 video ads. I created 6 video ads that I had edited by a professional editor. I also created about 6 image ads, just images that I was able to create using Cloud Code. And ultimately, with the video ads, my thinking was basically, because I've ran ads before, this is not my first rodeo. My thinking was basically with the video ads, I don't want to be on a sales call with a person that really did not see my face on an ad and just booked a call. So for example, if I was running an image ad where I just had the offer, 15 qualified leads in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, and then I direct them to a calendar, a lot of people would just see that offer, click on it, get to the calendar, book a time and a meeting. They won't watch any of the pre-call videos. They won't watch any of the VSLs. They won't want the case study. They won't watch anything. And then they'll get the reminder for the call, and then they'll show up to the call, and then they'll be kind of surprised to see my face. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with seeing my face. It's just I wanted people to see my face first as the first interval that they had, so they knew that this is what the person I'm talking to it looks like, and this is the kind of interaction. This is how this person is. What I've had happen before in other cases, other programs, is there is a face of the brand that talks to you with an ad, and then you go to a landing page and you see another face, and then you hop on a sales call and you see another page. That incongruence was something I was trying to avoid, because what that meant was there was this pretty face that worked well on the ad, then there was this business owner person that knew the business, I could explain the business, which was on the VSL, and then there was this salesperson who knew almost nothing about the business, but was just like a tactical mercenary that was put there just to get sales. And that discongruence just felt very off to me. I wanted to make everything very congruent and the process very smooth. So I wanted to, even if I was going to get a higher cost per call, I wanted to ultimately have it be that my face was the face that they saw all throughout the process. Now here's the thing, my ads fatigued after the first 2 to 3 weeks of running those ads, and I kept on running them for 2 months. I knew that my results and my cost per click was going up, but ultimately I had spent so much money editing these ads and editing these reels, and they obviously were working, so I was almost beating a dead horse. So I started with 6 reels, then I cut it down to 3 at the end of 1 week, and then I found my 2 winning ads, and then I ran those 2 winning ads for another 2 weeks. What I should have done was ultimately, after those 4 weeks where I've tested all those 6 ads, I should have filmed and I should have had ready another set of 3 ads based on the ones that are already performing well. I didn't do that. I thought I could keep on going with those 2 ads that were running well, and ultimately I had to start cutting it down, so I cut it down to 1 ad. So I was running 1 ad to an audience that were probably not gonna buy from that 1 ad because it wasn't just reaching them in the right way. That's a mistake I made. I should have had way more creatives, way more ad spread, and way more angles to get people into my funnel. That's one thing. Another thing, and this ties back to the first thing I talked about, is you cannot calculate how much it takes for you to get a client based on how much your cost per lead is. It's just a vanity metric. It doesn't mean anything, because you might have to go through 10 leads to get 1 client. You might have to go through 20 leads to get 1 client. You might have to go through 50 leads. You might have to go through 100 leads. And that math is not accurate. But the reason why is because the quality of lead matters 100 times more than what it costs you to get 1 lead. So you cannot just work the way you get taught. The quality of a lead is basically, oh, if you get 10 leads, conversion rate 20%, then you get taught that math, but that math doesn't apply in real life. Here's what applies in real life. You get 50 low quality shitty leads that none of them convert. What I did is I had over 70 leads that did not trust me when I started running image ads that were not working, and this was my last resort that I did. So that's another mistake I made, and that's something that I will be fixing. The third thing I want to talk about is strategy. What strategy do you actually use to convert people over the internet into people that are going to buy from you? There are different strategies you can use. A lot of people talk about VSLs, a lot of people talk about lead magnets, a lot of people talk about just having a Facebook lead form or whatever. What I've noticed is with Facebook lead forms, I personally don't want to use them for anything that is, you need high information buyers. For VSLs, a lot of times, if you are not an authority or you don't seem to be an authority, you cannot get people to watch more than 2 minutes of your VSL. They're just not going to do it. A random stranger is not going to come on your VSL and watch 10 minutes, or some people have 30 minutes VSLs. I don't know how they do it, but you have to have a lot of ad spend going to just push so much traffic through. What I noticed is most people dropped off my VSL in the first 30 seconds to 1 minute of my VSL, and people didn't watch it. So I first started with a 5-minute VSL, and I had to cut that VSL down to 2 minutes because people did not even watch any of the VSL. So my strategy going forward, if I were to do this again, will ultimately be to use another method of getting clients. Number 4, before I go about this new strategy I'm going to use, so I'm going to start this agency again, I'm going to go over number 4, what I actually learned doing this. So what I learned was simply that you need a lot more money than you think to actually be successful with ads. Number 2 is that the actual offer that you make matters a lot, but the industry you go after matters even more. So I was going after real estate agents in Canada. If you know anything about Canada, we are currently experiencing a recession. That means people are not buying homes, real estate agents are not making money, and there is not just that flow of capital for real estate agents to invest. A lot of real estate agents have been burned. They feel like a lot of marketing is a scam, and I fell into that category. So whenever I was running ads, the same thing, I just got dumped in with the same offer that everybody else was making, which means, oh, I've heard this before, I've heard about Facebook ads, and I had even a tailway experience with somebody on a call. Literally, this person hopped on a call, did not turn on their camera, and called me a scammer, which is fine. You expect things like that. But that coupled with a whole bunch of no-shows, almost 70% no-shows, that could really drain a person. Now, that's what I learned. It obviously will cost a lot more money. And for you to get to that 10K per month, you might be looking at possibly about a 10K investment, or you could be looking at something as low as a 5K investment into ads. Now, it's just things that people do not talk about, and nobody talks about it from what I've seen, but it's the reality of what I went through. Now, I do have experience running ads. I've been running ads for 3 to 4 years right now. So it's not really about the odds, the targeting, or anything like that. Because not only have I run ads for myself, I've also run ads for other people as well. So it's like, I don't know if you're seeing this, you might be like, oh my God, maybe you're not just that good at running ads. Possibly, there's always obviously somebody or a lot of people that are better out there than me at doing a lot of things. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video and say things are reality usually probably a lot of time doesn't pan out the way that you want to, but that is not the end of the case, because here's what I'll do and what I would do different next time I'm starting out. So the capital I had could obviously be more, but that's something I'll just have to build up the war chest again. The next thing I'll do is I'll come with a different strategy. I think the strategy of how I'd like to approach things is basically, I would like to sell things the way I buy things. And how do I buy things? I buy things only from people that I have a lot of trust from. So I'll start from building a lot of trust. I won't just go out there with a VSL and expect a cold audience to come and buy things from me. I think that is the hard way of playing the game. It's not the smart way of playing the game. I would go more so with a low effort lead magnet. Now, that does not mean everyone will read my lead magnet, but it will also mean that they would have seen my face and they will associate my face with somebody that gives them things for free, or that will help them for free. Now, all ultimately that means is I'll try to find a way to solve a problem that they're facing in their business right now in the fastest way possible and give them that information for free. And then I'll run retargeting ad campaigns going to those same people that already downloaded my lead magnet and hopefully have read some of it or are hoping to read some of it. And those are the people that I'll be targeting with even more valuable information before I then, over a period of time, ask them to book a call. I think that's the way to go about it, and that's the thing next thing I'll be testing out. I'd like to know your experience with running Facebook ads, what you've experienced, what things worked out for you, what things ultimately did not work out for you, how much did you spend to get your first client if you've run an SMMA. I'd love to know that. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you later.